Hey guys, Mark Lyon here, Lion Horses. Today I got a little tip for you. Maybe it's a tell, suggestion. I don't know. Anyway, take it for what it's worth. As a horse trainer, I'm fairly observant about what people do and what horses do. And a lot of times, the more observant you are and the more you've been around, the more you notice little tiny things that don't make maybe a big difference at the moment, but they kind of tell you a little bit about that person or that horse. And so I'm going to pull back the curtain a little bit, tell you something that I notice, and generally it tells me a little bit about a person. So when I watch somebody open a bale of hay, you wouldn't think that would be a particularly telling thing, but the handy guys I know, they cut the string by the knot. And if they're not very handy, they normally cut it anywhere else. And it was kind of funny. There was a bunch of young interns around one day, and I just posed the question. I said, "Hey, where do you cut the string when you're opening a bale?" And most of them said, just anywhere." And there was two of them. Actually, they weren't interns. There was an older fella, and I guess one of them was kind of a young guy, and he goes, "By the knot." They're all both yelling "by the knot" at the same time, and it was interesting. But anyway, there's a couple of reasons. It's normally not that big a deal. It's not something it's a live or die kind of thing. But there's a couple of reasons why you would generally, when it's fairly convenient, or just cut it by the knot. And that is if you're going to reuse it. If you're going to use the string for something else, and we all know hay string is one of those things. It's like duct tape for cowboys. It's one of those things that around a farm, you can use it for a lot of different things. So if you're going to tie a gate shut or tie something or whatever, if you have the knot at one end of the string and not in the middle, you have a lot more string to deal with. So you don't have to worry about that knot getting in the way. The other thing is if you're going to use 2 or 3 flakes off of a bale and then you're going to tie it back up, if you have it cut by the knot, when you tie your little loop there and then use the rest of the string to go through there, if that knot is over here and you're trying to tighten it up, well, that knot's going to get caught in the little loop, and it doesn't go through there very easy, and it can it's a pain. So anyway, just one of those things that I've noticed. I say it's not a big thing, but it's a little tiny detail that if you're pretty handy, you kind of notice those things, and you tend to cut that string. And like I say, if I'm not planning on using it, it's not something that you're never going to see me tie it or cut it knot by the knot. But generally, if I can see the knot, I'll try to cut it where that right next to the knot, so I can use the string later. Whatever. It's just one of those things that I've seen in my experience. The handier fellas, handier people, they tend to do that. So anyway, just a little tip for you. If you want to appear handier, there's going to be a lot of people that don't notice, but the ones that do, they will notice. The guys that are kind of paying attention, they will notice a lot of those little details. So anyway, remember, we're all trying to be the person our horse deserves. Hope this helps.